One of the biggest questions that I get asked over on Instagram via direct message by new resellers is, how do I know if I'm ready to open up a store? So let's discuss it. It's really exciting to start an eBay business, especially if you've been watching other resellers over on Instagram or YouTube or other social media platforms who are doing really well and succeeding with it. However, if you are a new reseller, the biggest thing I have to say to you is don't rush it. This is not an easy gig. It's actually really time consuming and takes a lot of hard work and effort to make this into a successful business or side business. If you are brand new to eBay, then opening up an eBay store too fast is basically like learning how to run before you walk. If you have less than 25 items in your store and you're just selling things from around your house and having a little bit of a dabble in it, then it's very likely that you don't need to set up an eBay store. It's a good idea to be selling for a few months first so you can become comfortable and efficient with the listing and the selling process of eBay. If you don't have an eBay store, eBay's going to give you 40 free listings a month. Once you've used up those listings, then you're going to get charged a non-refundable insertion fee for every additional listing that you add to your store. So how much is that insertion fee? Well, if your item is up to the value of $100, you're going to be adding an extra $1.65 to every single listing after your 40 free items. And if it's over $100, then you're going to be paying $3.85 per additional listing. There's also additional upgrading fees or promotion fees, and they can be added to a listing whether or not you've got a store or not. They're not necessary, so we're not going to talk about them in today's video because they're additional extras that you can add on extra. On all the items you sell on eBay, you also have to pay a final value fee. Your final value fees are based on a percentage of the amount that you actually sold your item for, and this will also include the amount paid for postage charges. So without a store, you're going to pay 10.9% of the total amount of the sale. Now just remember that the 40 free listings a month that you get from eBay also includes the amount of items that you've sold. So it does not mean that you can have 40 listings in your store but have also sold 20, because that would be a total of 60 orders for the month. So once you've gone over your 40 listings, whether or not that's in your store, including your sales, you then will be paying that insertion fee on every listing on top of that for the month. Now, once you've been selling on eBay for a while and you're enjoying the process and you're starting to look for more and more items to sell, or you're actually starting to go out and buy items with the intention to resell, then you probably need to start looking towards opening up a store. The fees and the benefit to a store will depend on the store package that's right for you. I do recommend only starting on the smallest store level, and then as you grow your business, you can always increase the store level. Now, once you move up to an eBay store, you're going to start paying a monthly subscription fee for that store. But what that will give you instead is more free listings every single month, but also lower final value fees. The rest of the fee structure is exactly the same whether or not you've got a store or you don't. So how much does having an eBay store cost? Well, there's 3 different store packages. A basic store is going to cost you $24.95 a month. A feature store is going to cost you $54.95 a month. And an anchor store, which is the big one, is going to cost you $549.50 a month. In saying that, Most people are never going to need an anchor store. That is for really large business who want to have a lot of stock in their store. And for most people, having the smaller store or the middle store is plenty. You will then be billed monthly for your subscription until you ever decide to cancel your store. So, how many listings do you get free with each store level? Well, with a basic store, you're going to get 600 free listings a month. Now, with the featured store, you're going to jump up to 1,500 free listings a month. And with an anchor store, you're going to get a whopping 250,000 free listings a month. So huge, and you'd want to be doing some big business to be on an anchor store. Remember, these amounts also include the amount of sales you've had for the month. So if you're on a featured store and you've got 1,500 items that you're allowed free for the month, take into account if you've sold 200 or 300 items, because what that's going to mean is you might only be allowed to have 1,200 odd items actually sitting in your store. Once you've used up your free listings in any store level, then you do need to pay insertion fees. Now, you still have to pay a final value fee on any item that you sell in your store. Now, there's a few tiers of categories, but for most general items that you sell on a store, you're basically going to be paying this amount of percentage of fees. For a basic store, you're going to be paying 9.5%. Now, remember, if you didn't have a store, you were paying 10.9%. If you move up to your featured store, you're going to be paying 8.55%. And on an anchor store, it's going to drop right down to 7.6%. So guys, start small, start on a basic store and move your way up to a featured store as you start to grow and you get more and more comfortable with eBay. So guys, let's take a look at this one last time. If you don't have an eBay store, you're going to get 40 free listings a month. And anything that you list above 40 is going to be charged an insertion fee. And that insertion fee is going to be $1.65 for anything up to $100 in value. And if it's over $100, you'll pay $3.85 per listing. Now, on a basic store, you're going to get 600 free listings per month. And on basic fixed price listings, any additional listings that you do over the 600, you will pay a fee of 50 cents per extra listing. If you have the featured store, you get 1,500 free listings a month. And if you sell more than 1,500 or have more than 1,500 in your store, you will get charged 20 cents per insertion fee. And if you go right up to the anchor store and you go over 250,000 listings, then you will pay an additional 5 cents per extra listing as an insertion fee. Now, just looking at the eBay store fees again. Once you move up to an eBay store, you're paying a monthly subscription fee. This is non-negotiable and non-refundable. This is your fees for an eBay store. The basic store will give you $24.95 a month, the featured store is $54.95 a month, and the anchor store is $549.95 a month. Now, on every single item you sell on eBay, you're going to pay a final values fee, and this is on the total amount of the item that you sold. So there's a few different tiers with different categories, whether or not you're doing basic fashion, clothes, technology, or car parts, etc., etc. But for the most common one, you'll be on tier 3. So I'm just going to look at that today. So if you're on no store, you're going to be paying 10.9% on every item that you sell in your store. If you have the basic store, you will go to 9.5%. The featured store, you'll pay 8.55%, and in the anchor store, you pay 7.6%. So guys, I'm not reinventing the wheel here. This information is out there for anybody to find. Go to the eBay website and have another look at it if you'd like. But basically the main thing to take away from this is don't open your store too early. But if your living room is starting to look like mine and you are being surrounded by clothes and shoes and DVDs and books and anything else, then maybe it's time to start looking at building a store.